Okay, so I am going to be reading on the Pacific Palisades home, and it goes to actually Thelma Todd's old home. It's beautiful. Um, it's a Spanish style 2 bedroom stucco, gorgeous view of the ocean home. And you will see, because I will put pictures where I can here up on the sides and links in the description box. Now, I don't know if it will link back to this, what I pick up, to the viewer that requested this address, which was Craig. I remember that. Sometimes I don't always remember, and if I don't always remember, please don't take it personally. I just am not good with names anymore. I used to be really good, but after I had kids, like, everything, that memory went out with the placenta, I think. Anyhow, so Craig, I will read on this, but I'm just going to let the cards answer what they want to with regard to your choice on this building, and whether or not it has any connection to you, I don't know, but let's just let the cards, the universe, say what it wants to say. And what is the energy that is there? And we can ask, does it connect to Craig? But what is the energy that is at this place that the cards can pick up? And again, this is 17 531 Posetano Road. I think that's how you say it. In Pacific Palisades in Southern California. Gorgeous. And I do see like there's pictures of the interior, so like I will include that. Okay, let's see what we get. What is the energy still here? Well, it does show conflict. Okay. So that energy is still present. And I'm betting that it does go back, because that place, that unit, that home was built in 1927. So Thelma Todd, I can't remember when it was that she lived there. It mustn't have been, very old. But my sense is that her energy, that's still very much on the environment's psyche, as well as this fame. Something she was, I feel like there was a conflict about her gaining any more popularity or visibility. She was trying to become more visible with her career, and it wasn't easy. She's got the Three of Wands. There were underneath her, this is based on opportunities, looking for deeper, more meaningful, opportunities of work as an actress. And I think to work with people that were in vogue in that day too. We get the card of changes, so shifting and a lack of stability. I think perhaps wanting, I think, I see a great deal of ambition. Okay, oopsies. I see a great deal of ambition, but it looks like there's something that's very powerful that comes up against this pursuit of goals, that comes in conflict with it, and it's a fluctuation. It can mean that somebody was having a hard time committing where they should their energy, and were too flaky and all over the place, maybe not grounded enough. That's a distinct possibility, but we'll see. In the past, there was the dream card with this Six of Cups. Definitely the ambition to be famous. Oh yes, very ambitious. And somehow this really stepped on someone's toes, is the feeling here, bruised someone's ego. We get a King of Cups. So I'm seeing a male card that has energy that's still connected there to that place, because he has a need of healing for some kind of conflict that happened while he was living there, or somebody that he was involved with living there, shall we say, potentially. I just see that there was somebody there that had so much hope and ambition, and was just starting to really begin perhaps to see some success. But they were still kind of in a bit of where they're still, I feel like, kind of pulling to come into get PR, and there's this King of Cups, and I think he's the one. There's this conflict. He comes into the scene, and interrupts, I think, the person pursuing their dream. This has to do with being expecting someone to be dutiful, expecting loyalty, but this person at hand would be putting their loyalty or their energy towards their ambition, and maybe less toward somebody else's will of them or desire of them personally, emotionally for them. I feel like somebody was getting too looking into their career, and this may have threatened someone's sense of their loyalty to them. Maybe this King of Cups. Okay. Seven of Pentacles, and I'm I'm feeling like there is a lack of clarity. There's confusion in the environment. This could be drugs, drink on board, and an altered mental state. Also, it can happen from somebody having mental illness. But I think this also says that somebody had perhaps also a lack of patience with regard to another who was wanting to pursue their dreams. A lack of patience, perhaps. Oops. And there is, connected to this very deeply feeling male, the Three of Swords, which is heartbreak, and a love affair, love triangle, a sense of betrayal, illness. But this is in like a hopes and fears. And I think this was afraid. I really feel like there was a male that was insecure here, that somebody was going to betray them or let them down. I think there's a bit of paranoia with this. Let's see what else we get. Get the Nine of Swords. Ah, there's sorrow. Just that this is like anxiety, trauma. And I feel like tears. There's still a trauma connected to a man. I'm seeing somebody was very ambitious and wanting to attain, I think, further career goals, goals in their life that were important, that shows up, their dreams, and they were wanting to become famous. I see that. And they're connected to this King of Cups. And somehow that is a conflict. There's a conflict with him. Or there's an area of conflict. Let's just look further into this sorrow card here. We get the Hanged Man. And new vision. Again, a need to look at something from a different point of view. And innocence. I think with the Sun, somebody is wanting to bring clarity over, I think, potentially suicide there. Thelma Todd was said to be a suicide, but many people think it's fishy. And maybe it's talking about that here with the Sun, because it's saying a different perspective would bring about the clarity that is needed and that is missing. I think that this was somebody that she may have, that may have been, I see a man that felt that he was betrayed for sure. And by someone that they felt was too ambitious. They didn't like this person's ambition to become famous. Somehow this was a concern. Maybe a concern that they would blab or something, but there was a feeling that this person had already done something. Whether this was Thelma Todd or not, I'm just going to say I don't know, because I'm not getting a female card of any identity yet. But the energy is there. There's the of sorrow and of regret, of betrayal, and of feeling nervous about. And so I feel like if somebody had awareness that they had betrayed someone that lived there, this person knew that, and I think they were anxious that someone, this King of Cups, should catch up with them. I do. It makes sense. And someone who had their dreams on becoming famous, well known, and was working, was struggling and was trying to, I think, come forward in with their business plans. I know that she also had a cafe that's coming to mind. And I think that was a point of contention with her and some business folks that wanted to do business there. I'm just getting that there was a great deal here, energy that's left, that's anxiety, of anxiousness. And heartbreak. There's being caught in a very compromising kind of a position, where you can't. It's painful. I think she had hoped she would overcome her problems, but the energy there is just talking about somebody feeling kind of stuck. They needed to take a look at the situation from a different perspective, is what the hangman says. It also says to me that the quote unquote suicide is ascribed to that place is suspect, which is also interesting because it's still not showing. There needs to be need to be legal involvement and action. That it should have been much more thoroughly investigated. I think there was a bribe. Look at that trick. And like a gift. So I'm feeling like that local authorities were bought off at the end of the day. With regard to the justice system and barriers. Yeah, I think I think that there was a problem with definitely control issue, and to do with the Empress, with lucrative business, and she was definitely a businesswoman. I think also with her cafe, and I think this is speaking to those issues. And people wanting that spot and to use it to make money. I think she got really tripped up with, just entwined with the wrong people. Because they felt like she had broken a promise. There was some agreement that they had offered her. And I think there was more than one offer that they gave her. And I feel that it's saying the choice that she made is what condemned. I feel like it is definitely Thelma's situation. But anyway, it speaks about choices made, but that unfortunately this one brings disappointment, and the disappointment of the grieving kind. So I think given the story that went there, it's lining up for me. And perhaps this is where it might be also for Craig, if he was connected to that in any way, shape, or form. With the Four of Cups, there was a retreat and with secrets. So I feel like there were people that knew, but they were scared to talk, and they just kept to themselves. They kept that secret to the grave. I think no way, no how were they going to relieve that secret. So I feel like that place definitely still has what looks like to me to be Thelma's uh, energy, and what happened to her and the stress that she was under. With that's interesting. I didn't realize it was Thelma Todd's place until I just was looking at the picture. I thought, that seems familiar. That seems familiar. Um, and I'm getting the acting a nod toward that with the mask here. And a mask here. There's some subliminal nods here. Queen of Swords, King of Swords. Yeah, again, we're dealing with, I think she went up against a matter of control, maybe possibly with two other men, or, would be really significant in this case. And a Queen of Swords and a businesswoman. And I think that was Thelma Todd. And I'll have to check on her birthday whether she was air sign or had any prominent air sign or not. But this is quite interesting. So I will be sharing this one also. A lot of fun to do these ones. Yeah, this is about a real win. This was like win or die kind of thing. It was victory or death. And somebody ended up dying. This was a fight. And I think I'm saying she, but I think the person that was connected to that property was expecting to win this, wanted to win this, but was very much aware that their death could happen. And I think that's why they were nervous. I just feel she had a sense of nostalgia to the place. But there were people that were greedy, and that I feel like were wanting to bring in a bit more with that Nine of Cups, other things that could be compromising, because it has to do with, I think, vice, pleasures. And Six of Pentacles, this is money. I think there was some issue of gambling or something illegal. I see that kind of energy there, and prostitution, that whole scene. And there's this communication that, no, I want to do this by myself. I want to go this on, I don't want to do that. And that would make sense, because I think that she ended up telling him, she may have turned him down and said, no, I want to do this, run my business my own way. I think we're coming to that. There was a gamble, a risk taken, a very big risk here in saying that. Um, and that they took it from her. They ended and got success. They got what they wanted, completed it. Some kind of, or I don't know, there was something about that spot socially that just, she wanted it protected. I don't, there's success, completing. So somebody felt that, I don't know whether it was her or they felt that their venture was successful. Some risks that they took, some gamble that they took. Again, somebody feels that they were trying to be too controlling and that there needed to be better balance. And that does indicate it, that there was a lack of balance. And this comes up, and we're shown the miser. There's definitely a lack of balance in this, perhaps, offer that they gave her or whatever that she was given. Not to trust defeat. And I feel like, so when that offer, or she didn't go along with what they offered her, I feel like it was like, you can have this nice or you can have this not so nice. And if you don't go along with it, you're going to get not so nice. And I think she got the not so nice. And that's like, there was no, these are the tough guys. This is the bully energy. Ace of Wands and Nine of Wands. I think that's being roughed up, undergoing violence. Some kind. And a man has success. An older male, established power, has success. So I feel like, they're showing that somebody got screwed out of something they were trying to hold on to and keep control of. I can't help but think of her and her case. And this may have been true also to some degree or another for people that lived there down the lane of time, if you will. The Nine of Pentacles, there's this gain and new growth, manifesting new growth. I think there's something I'm getting about that, despite things, I feel like her business location was a profitable spot. I think, whoever ended her ability to control that area, yeah. Sent her to her ancestors. Five of Pentacles. This to me would be a loss of physical health. And that, consciousness, that's interesting. Because she was found unconscious in the garage, full of fumes. But I think she did have some, It was definitely staged. I think the way that they did it was they would just knock her out, and they didn't want her to have like really understanding of what even was happening to her. Just knock her out, and I think that was their idea. Yeah. And that she would just, it would just look like she, I think they thought pretty simply minded, the people that did this. I really think this shows a setup. Um, I mean, look at that, fighting, Knight of Swords. And this is quick energy too, with the swords. Somebody acting very quickly. Directing people what to do. This is directing. Action. I feel like there were others that were also kind of then at odds with each other afterward. So even though they got rid of her, I think there was still inner fighting amongst the people that did this. I think they were just too greedy. So they got rid of her, but it didn't matter. I think that at the end of the day, there was still conflict. So I feel like we were shown what took place there. That's interesting. It was manipulation. Ten of Swords. Ruin. She was ruined. And existence, taken from her. So that's what I get for Pacific Palisades. All right. On those areas. I will be looking again for somebody else's personal maybe residence or former residence. And if you enjoy this content, please do like and subscribe. And these are my uploads for the weekend. On Sunday, I will go live at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And you can ask me one question. It can be personal, or it can be public topic. Whatever it is that you're, wanting to know, but just make sure you want to know it. Don't ask something that you're not ready for either. So I do caution people that way. This is for entertainment, but sometimes people can be a bit shook. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but it's true. So I caution people. Think carefully about what you ask sometimes. And if you really want to know, make sure you are ready for the answer. So I will be on this Sunday. And I thank you. And I'll see you then. Thanks so much. Make sure you're subscribed. Thank you.